Well, hello everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Chris Krupe, and I'm with Truepoint Solutions, and I'm joined here with Shannon Budd, who's from Citrus County Board of County Commissioners. And we're here today to share a little bit about how we were able to successfully migrate the original Hansen 7 applications over at BOCC over to the latest and greatest Infor public sector solutions. And we were able to do that also through this COVID-19 pandemic. So we wanted to share with you some of our lessons learned along the way as well. If you're not familiar with Truepoint Solutions, we are an Infor Alliance partner. We are specifically focused on implementing the Infor public sector suite of products, and that is for all of our local government agencies. Shannon, maybe you'd like to introduce yourself and just provide a little bit of background about the BOCC and your use of Hansen IPS.
Sure, Chris, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Budd, and I'm the lead project manager for the BOCC's IPS migration project. I work in the Department of Systems Management as a business technology analyst and was also involved as project manager with our original implementation of the Hansen 7 product back in 1999. For a little background on Citrus County, we're located on the west central coast of Florida, and we have a population of about 140,000. And yes, we were originally named Citrus County due to all of our citrus trees. However, we're better known now to the tourist as for our natural springs and our manatees.
Manatees, I haven't come across one yet, but I guess I just need to get out a little bit more next time I come visit you guys. So that's good to know. Now, I know you also mentioned, about the Hansen 7 product, using that since 1999. Maybe you could share a little bit more about your use of that product overall and, some of the factors and why you wanted to migrate to the latest version.
Sure. Of course, we originally implemented both the asset management and the CDR products from Hansen, Hansen 7. And over the years, we also ended up developing various in-house programs to meet increasing needs of both the internal staff and the citizens. We had to do this because the requested capabilities just weren't available with the Hansen 7 product. So after meeting with Infor and getting a chance to see the latest IPS products, we decided to migrate to the latest IPS suite, which would also allow us to replace our in-house programs with new out-of-the-box products that the IPS suite provided.
Well, that's great. And, we can certainly appreciate kind of some of the history there because, we actually have quite a few of our employees that were working for Hansen way back when for the initial implementation. Actually had a chance to work with you back then, as well as on the new migration project. And that even included our project manager, Melissa Boakley.
Yes, it's been great to work with Melissa again. And then, of course, the rest of the Truepoint team. You guys have been great.
Well, thank you very much for that. So well, maybe let's talk a little bit about the project, and we can start with phase 1. That really involved Public Works and the Water Resources Group. And so, for that first phase, we were really focused on, migrating the application from the Hansen 7 to IPS 11. But then we also had to include, all of the data migrations, the workflows, all of the various reporting requirements as well over to the new platform. We also then had the opportunity, as you mentioned earlier, to replace some of those in-house systems with some of these out-of-the-box products that IPS offered. And that included IPS Mobile for the work management component and leveraging some of those new workflows. We also added the Geo Administrator product, so we could kind of use these out-of-box tools now to link your GIS to your data. And then even the Rhythm for Civics portal, which is now kind of the new customer-facing customer service portal as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we did, Chris, and we were able to realize the benefits right away. Some of those benefits, for instance, were, the operations division staff under the Department of Water Resources were able to move from a paper-based system to, in a manual work order process to the mobile app, where they were able to better locate assets through the use of GIS, but they could also add their labor in their vehicle and equipment usage. And of course, we're working towards adding materials as well. Another benefit that we realized was the use of the IPS workflows, and programming staff were able to use those for water resources underground utility locates by updating the Florida's call Sunshine or Sunshine 811, they updated the call center database in real time with locate results. So, for contractors and homeowners looking to safely excavate, it was done in real time. And then other tools such as integrated reporting and dashboards, it's given us insight into our data that we just simply didn't have before.
Wow. Well, that's quite a bit. And another thing I thought was worth noting for this project was, how you set up the project teams at the county, because I think that really was another key, to the overall success of the program. So maybe you can share a little bit about that as well.
Sure, absolutely. I'd been the Hansen administrator / project manager since 1999, of course, and we knew, that's not going to be the case forever. So we want to take this opportunity to ensure that each division was empowered to take ownership of this new solution. And so therefore each division with both public works, water resources, and then grounds maintenance, each had their own project manager and backup for each of them as well from the outset of the project. And I still, provided the project oversight, but ensured that the divisions were making their own decisions about the configuration needs of the system, and that they would have that knowledge moving forward to maintain and to continue to expand the solution in the future as a subject matter expert.
Wow. And that really was such a key aspect of the project. And, I just want to, commend you and the whole project team for taking that approach, because, a lot of folks will focus on the initial implementation, but really having the foresight to really say, how are we going to manage this product moving forward and ensure long-term success is just really so key. So, now I know we kicked off our project in January of 2020, and we were planning to go live in October. Obviously, then we had COVID come into play, and we knew had to make some adjustments to how we're going to work together, and this is all going to be remote now and so forth. And we were just lucky in general that we could continue on the project remotely, but we did have to kind of change. How often do we meet? How are we meeting, and so forth. And so, an example was like our business analysis sessions. So, historically, we come on site probably for a full week, sit down with all the groups and then really, work through that. But obviously we couldn't do that. And we knew, with a Zoom meeting, you don't want to be on Zoom all day. So, we had to kind of limit the amount of meetings we had, how long those meetings were, to just a couple hours. So, that did cause some concerns around the project schedule, because, how are we going to, do this? Is this going to negatively impact the schedule? And in fact, we were able to stay on track. So how did we do that, Shannon?
I know. It's true. We're able to stay on schedule, and our go live date was our go live date. So it was interesting, but spreading out the sessions and just trying not to get too much done at one time, it allowed us to have more productive meetings, and then of course give the staff the opportunity to think things through more, and to test between sessions. And it also allowed our staff to maintain their day-to-day responsibilities more easy by not having to block out, multiple days in a row for project tasks. So, and then as an added benefit that we, didn't realize is that the recorded business analysis planning sessions and the virtual trainings are now used as a virtual reference library, which has been, proved to be valuable already.
Yeah, I'm really glad we did that, because we didn't think about that at the time, but they've been so widely used since then. It really has been an invaluable resource and something we want to be moving forward as well. So were there maybe any other experiences you might want to share about phase one as well?
Sure. I have many, but I will list a few. So, just some advice, some lessons learned. Set expectations out of the gate. Just because you've always done it that way, that mentality must be pushed out the door. You've got to question everything, ask why. You need to ask yourself, what does success look like to you? What is the end goal? And just work from there. And of course, documentation is key. Use the available online Kanban boards to manage the project. It provides transparency, using a simplified workflow management that promotes that open communication and that collaboration between the staff, your team, and anyone else that you want to, to invite in. And then, of course, create and share those SOPs, those standard operating procedures, and then continually examine and refine your process. so that, you update that documentation, you keep it current. And then of course, if you have the ability, do take advantage of those, doing the virtual training and recording those and having those meetings and creating that virtual training library. And then, being able to safely hold the on-site training there at the end, Chris,
Mhm.
that was just a blessing, having you guys on site and, doing it a safe way with what we were dealing with. And, the only, with that said, just one of the lessons learned was that convinced me that we need to, between the week of training and go live, we need to wait about a week or two, put some cushion in there because we did have some discoveries during training, some questions that we need to resolve prior to going live. So I think that's the only thing that I would advise or change would be to, don't just have the training and then go live. But having you guys there for the walkabout that week, it was just very reassuring, and we appreciated that.
Great, that sounds wonderful. Well, so, now that we have phase one behind us, we're just kicking off phase two, and phase two is with the growth management department, and that's going to include, building and licensing and land management and code compliance. And, similar to phase one, we're going to be migrating everything from the current, Hansen 7 over to IPS 11. But we're also going to be able to take advantage of mobile, like we discussed, the GIS capabilities, the Rhythm for Civics product now to, submit applications and pay fees and so forth. And for document management that we're also going to leverage with the DigiPlan electronic plan review software that offers out-of-the-box integration with IPS as well. So a lot of exciting things ahead for phase two. And we want to thank all of you for joining today and listening to our presentation. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see you all at another Infor presentation in the future. Take care for now.
Thank you.